Hello, hello, and welcome, welcome. See, I'm hoping my lighting is good because it's a little bit to the left, but I usually put it on the right hand side. I'm trying the left hand side, but looking at what I see right now, I think we're good. So, welcome, welcome. We're just gonna wait and see who jumps in so we can talk about the money mistakes that we make as immigrants that actually messes us up. Doesn't benefit us. Come on through, come on through. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see. I'll just wait a couple minutes here, see if somebody's going to join in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Jump on in. Let's spend the next hour together. It's 7:45 Mountain Standard Time. So I'm going to be live at least until 8:45, which is an hour. Just wanted to go through some of these topics about money that I know could be beneficial to all of us. So I'll just wait and see who jumps on. Welcome, welcome. It's going to be 2 minutes here shortly. Let me see how long it's going to take somebody to join. There you go. Exactly 2 minutes. The last time it was a minute and a half or a minute 45. Today it's 2 minutes. So all good, all good. Thank you for joining. Please let me know where you're coming in from. I am here in the Mountain Standard Time. It's 7:46 p.m. And I just wanted to come on and say what's up. Tally Cooks. Thank you. Hello, hello. Where are you joining in from? I am in the good old Canada. The cold part of it, not the Toronto or the Vancouver, but the other side, in the mainland prairies where it's kind of US. Awesome. Thank you for joining. US in the house. Usually say I am an American by education because that's where I went to school, university. I'm doing great. You? I'm doing great. Just wanted to jump on here and talk about money mistakes that we make, especially as immigrants, that are keeping us broke, that are keeping us on survival mode, that are keeping us stressful instead of being stress-free. And if we learn these things sooner than later, our experience in the Western world will be so much better. Our experience in the things of the foreign land will be so much better. So I just wanted to jump on here, discuss, maybe have about 5 points or 5 to 7 mistakes that I know we do as immigrants that usually keeps us locked in, not in a good way, but just bound, stuck, survival mode in a way that doesn't serve us. All right, so let's just go ahead and jump right in. Number 1, I have my notes down here. That's why I'm looking at it. Hi, how are you, Cindy? Welcome, welcome. Number 1 is not understanding the financial system of the country you're going into. I promise you, the way money works in Africa, I'm talking for me as a Kenyan and some of my South African friends and my Nigerian friends, the way money works in Africa is so different from the way money works in the Western world. Hey, Farah. In Kenya, where I am from, when my mother decided she was going to build a house, she had to save that money or get it from the local community savings group to build her house. Here, I am a Nigerian. Awesome. In the Western world, there's something called loans. There's something called mortgages. There's something called debt, like car payments, car notes. If you don't understand that dynamics of how things work as far as big financial commitments are concerned, you're going to find yourself in big trouble. Credit score is one of the most crucial things that you must understand when jumping into this country and wanting to find out about the financial system. Know how it works and know how it can serve you and know how it can mess up your life. If you know how it works, then you will avoid making it mess your life. If you know how it works, you will know how to work it out so it can work for you. So the best thing is just to hunker down and really understand how money works in these different countries. Back home, you buy whatever you buy, it's yours to keep and it's yours. You probably paid full for it. It's a little different now because the credit system has been introduced, especially in Kenya. I know we do have a credit system, but back in the day, a majority of the people, it's what they have is what they use. If you go buy a house, that's it. You're not taking loans. You're not taking mortgages. You're not taking car notes. You're buying what you're buying and you're taking it home and it's for you to keep. All you got to worry about is your insurance and maintenance. But it's so different here. So in the Western world, please make sure you understand how the credit system works, how the score, whatever the score means, and what that means for you. If depending on where you're trying to live, depending on where you're trying to go to school, depending on where you're trying to buy a property, you need to know how best of a credit score you need to be able to get into those postal codes or those zip codes. So understand how the credit system works. You'll save yourself a whole lot of trouble. Number 2 is using that credit. Once you've understood how it works, now you need to understand how you can use it to your advantage. Sometimes they say don't take credit cards, don't take any debt, it's not good for you. But we know there's some debts that can be good for you. For instance, I take a student loan to be able to go to school. And I know once I get my graduation done, once I get my profession, once I get my career started, I'll make more money than what I'm making right now. To me, that's a good debt because I invested in myself so that I can climb up my income ladder so I can make more money, so I can be able to do more things because of the income that will be coming in. So that cannot necessarily be a bad thing. For me, it's a good thing. I can take money for that. I've seen some people take loans or credits to go buy a property, which is an investment property. And after their own assessment and looking at it, they've decided it's going to be a good investment because once they pay whatever they're paying down payment, it will start to generate income. So that will be an income source for them, even though it's a credit, it's a liability. It's worked for some people and I've seen it destroy other people. So be very clear about what you're trying to accomplish. Seek advice, thorough advice. Make sure you're getting advice properly by somebody who has a track record of doing things well, not just your cousin or your uncle who's done this 1 or 2 times and now they feel like they're an expert. Get a real estate person or an attorney or find some good legitimate person who can advise you on what to do as far as taking on credits, because it can mess you really, 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 really fast. So be very careful with that. Number 3, which is common for all of us, I've been so guilty of it, is sending too much money at home. Black tax is a thing. I'm not going to lie. You feel responsible for the people back home. Maybe there was a fundraiser that was done for you to come to the Western world. You left people with debt at home, or you leverage some properties at home so you can come. So it's important for you to come here, get settled, start making money, and pay back the people that made this happen for you. So you start sending your money home, and you just don't know when to stop. It's not a bad thing to support your people at home, but understand their boundaries. There are boundaries to be followed. There are boundaries to be observed if you're trying to move forward, if you're trying to elevate yourself. Otherwise, you'll be stuck in that hole, trying to make sure that you're taking care of people at home who are already taking care of themselves. So prioritize yourself. Put your mask on fast before you help people back home. Make sure you're stable. If you're going to school, make sure you graduate. Make sure you have that profession that's going to support you 100% before you start supporting people back home. And I do understand there's some people who come here, old parents at home. Maybe you left your children at home. Maybe you have a sibling in school that needs to be taken care of. I get it. But you need to prioritize you in whatever case that is. Because what good is it if you cannot work because you're working so much so you can send money home, and then you break yourself down, and then you don't have money for yourself and you don't have money to send back home. So be very careful, have boundaries, talk to them. I feel like a lot of our parents are very understanding. I know my dad passed away, but my mom is very understanding when it comes to finances and knows she cannot put pressure. She doesn't put pressure on me being in the Western world to send money home. I will help when I can. I know my responsibility. I know she needs help, and I know people at home do need help. I can help in that aspect, but it's not like a you must be every month you're sending $300 because this and that. No, that's not going to work for me. But I know there are people who do that and it works for them. So be very careful. Don't send too much money at home until and unless you've taken care of yourself and you know you're good. Then you can do that with the people back home. Number 4 is living as if we are temporary. Like for the longest time, you keep telling yourself, oh, am I going to stay here or am I going back to Kenya? Am I going to stay here or am I going back to Nigeria? The split homes has done more damage than good, especially for us people here in America and in Canada. You keep thinking in your head like, oh, I'm not going to retire here. I'm going to build myself back home. I'm going to go back home. I'll start sending my stuff back home when I turn 50 so that by the time I'm 55, I'm fully retired and I'll go and stay back home. And then 55 comes in and you still don't feel ready to retire. So everything that you send back home, it's either collecting dust or the house you send back home, people are just using it or it's just there vacant. So that split home thing is a thing and it can actually keep us from moving forward. I'm not sure what to advise with that because personally I'm still in the area of navigating how it's going to go. I do have children. I don't know if they'd start having their own kids or my grandchildren. I'm in Canada. I will be tempted to stay in Canada, or will I still want to go back home? Home is home. There's always a place in my heart where I feel so warm and fuzzy inside when I'm there. But then again, I also have family here who are my children and maybe my grandchildren in the future that I'll want to take care of. So I am living in a way that can take care of me here and now because I'm here now. So if I'm planning my retirement, or as I'm planning my retirement, I am planning it here. And I know if I plan it here, it's gonna go even far more when when I'm back home, because the cost of living in Kenya is way lower than cost of living in Canada. So living in that split mentality where you're not sure whether you're going here or there can be a problem as well. And then it makes you don't know where to invest. It's like, should I invest in Canada or should I invest back home? And just being in that limbo of like, where should I invest? Years go by like this. Before you make up your mind, 10 years have gone by. Before you think, okay, let me do Canada. And then the interest rates are going up. Maybe you've changed jobs. Maybe your children are now they're now in high school and going to university. There are just so many things that are at play. So it's good to decide, even if you want to build a small home back in Kenya or in your home country, and then you live fully here. But you have to, wherever you are, make sure you're living fully as if your retirement was there. I'm in Canada. I want to live fully as if I'm going to retire in this country. Should things change, I can pack up my bags and go to Kenya. And like I mentioned, the cost of living in Kenya is way lower than in Canada, so I should be okay. Number 3, what was that? Number 4 is tracking your spending. Track your spending. Make sure you keep an eye on what you're doing with your money. Make sure you're moving in a direction where it grows your money, or you're making more money as the years go by in this Western world. But at the same time, making more money doesn't mean spending more money. You don't want to start amplifying your life simply because your income has amplified. You get a raise, that's the time you're going to buy a new car, or you get a raise, that's the time you're relocating and moving to a bigger city or moving to a bigger house. You will remain in the same state for a long time if you keep doing that. I am guilty of it. I'm not saying you, like judging you. I am guilty of it. I've been in a place where as money came and as stability came, I found the need to move to a bigger house. And it's warranted sometimes. When you have one child, you probably can fit in a 1-bedroom. When you have 2 children, you probably can fit in a 2-bedroom. But when you have 3 and 4 children, then you have to expand the living quarters so that people can fit in the house and be comfortable. So that has been an issue for so many of us, although sometimes we tend to overdo it. Like you move from this neighborhood to go and you have a 3-bedroom house in this neighborhood that is reasonable for you, and then you get your salary increase and you want to move all the way to the other rich people side of town. And then for a 3-bedroom, it's costing you maybe twice or 1.5 what you were paying previously. So be very careful with your spending. Make sure you're tracking it. Make sure you're teaching yourself and teaching the generations after you how to track that money. Because once you're free and you teach your kids how money works, then it becomes easier for all of you to thrive because they won't depend on you, you won't depend on them. So track your spending and learn about finances as you're doing that. Another thing that I think it's very, very important is to start investing. That's another mistake that we've made as immigrants. We do not think about investing at all. In our 401ks, in our RRSPs, in our TSFAs, in our Roth IRAs, we have failed to invest. And I'm talking about that for me and my circle of friends. I think a year ago, 2 years ago, there was a financial expert that had come to speak to ladies, immigrant ladies, mostly from Africa and the Caribbean, about finances. And there was an overwhelming majority in the room that did not have investments. And I'm talking about people in their 40s and above. We don't have like tangible investments that if anything were to happen to you today, you will survive for the next 6 months. Let's say you don't have to work for even 3 to 6 months. It was still a struggle. Like people were just like, I don't know if I can do that because we just don't make plans for that. We just don't invest. We just don't see that far. It's about living the here and now, which there is absolutely nothing wrong about living the here and now. But also as you're doing that, try and throw something over there because those 7 years of famine will come. Those 7 years of a downfall or a valley will always show up. So it's always good to invest. It's always good to keep a little bit of an emergency fund that you know if something were to happen, at least I know for this month I'll be okay, or for next month I'll be okay before I get another job or before I get somebody to bail me out or something. So investing is actually something that I am personally preaching to myself about because I haven't done as good of a job as I would have loved to. I'm still behind on a few things. I'm still behind on my 6 to 9 months of an emergency fund. I'm still behind on my retirement investments. I'm still behind on a few things, but at least I recognize that and I'm doing something about it. Whether it's contributing more, whether it's looking into YouTube and trying to see if that can be a source of income in the future, whether it's attending classes where they're teaching people how to invest, how to retire better, how to travel for less, how to just things that can put some money into that pot. I'm all about that. So guilty as charged. Thank you. And then another thing is just as you're rushing to get yourself caught up, especially all of us, those of us who are in our 40s and 50s, sometimes you turn around and you're like, my goodness, I only have 10 more years to work, I only have 15 more years to work, and I do want to work until I'm 65 or 67. Then you find these enticing things that are get rich quick schemes, or invest in this thing, or buy these things, or join my MLM, and you'll start making substances amount of money, and you get yourself in that. I have been in that situation where I have lost a lot of money because of that, because you're trying to get that big money that will cut the journey for you. And you feel if I just hit big, it's like buying the lottery ticket and it's like, if I just hit it big, I'll be good. And you keep buying and you keep buying and you keep buying and years go by and you've never won nothing more than just maybe $5 or $10. So try to avoid that pressure from the community or pressure from things you see online, things you see on Instagram. Maybe you come across one of your friends you went to school with, she's doing really well. And then you're sitting there wondering, okay, we are of the same age. She looks like she's far ahead of me. So what am I doing wrong? And then you go into this other get rich quick schemes and you get yourself in trouble. So be very careful what you're doing. Be very careful how you're not getting enticed into that life or into that, because the cost it's going to cost you way more than what you're putting in. Way more in terms of time, way in terms of Wealthsimple is a good Canadian investment. Wealthsimple. Yes, indeed. I actually do have an account with Wealthsimple, and I like that platform better than Questrade. I do have both, but I like it better than Questrade for some reason. I just find this very easy to use. I have it on my phone. I can buy a share here. They do sell fractional shares, which I love a lot. because I'm not investing that big of an amount. It's just a certain amount every end of the month. So I do like Wealth Simple. Awesome. Do you have a Freedom Heart Farm? Okay. Are you in finances? I believe you maybe more than ever. Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely something. Yes. Yeah. And the one it's talked about a lot and people take it all kinds of ways. I stopped buying lotto and invest my yeah, I'm telling you, yeah, even that $10 that you spend maybe in a month buying lottery, if you buy a stock and it's a dividend paying stock, it just keeps going up and going up. Yeah, that's true. And if you have the advantage of time, then the compounding interest will do the work for you. So definitely, I did start investing as well and kind of took it a bit more serious now that I know I'm approaching age. My kids are growing. They soon be university bound. I will need to retire. Yeah. So you have to think differently from the lotto buying person to the investing person. It becomes more intentional when you invest. And also another thing that I would say also for my immigrant people, live below your means. And I don't know if this makes sense to people anymore because everybody's like, what do you mean live below my means? I'm already living below my means. But unless you're intentional about your finances and your financial life, sometimes it's very hard for you to see the living below your means as living below your means, because you say, I have 2 kids or I have 3 children, I'm in a 3-bedroom house, I'm in a good neighborhood where I like the schools that my children are going to. This is as below my means as I can live, unless I just get up and move to another lower income neighborhood or lower whatever neighborhood, which I don't want to do. Then this is where I'm going to be. It's really crazy at this time, and I found that it keeps you engaged with daily world's politics. For sure, yeah, because it keeps dropping all those gems about what's going on. Yeah, I've been learning lots about whatever Donald Trump is doing with the Iran people and the Iran government and Venezuela and Gulf of America. Yeah, it does give you a little bit of an insight on what's going on with the world. You're right about that. Yeah. Yeah. So it's talking about living below your means. So you do have to find a way to kind of feel like I'm retired, but still living. Good for you. Good for you. That's the way to do it. For as long as you're here, breathing and kicking, you can always do that. You can always invest. You can always invest. Yeah. So living below you means just trying to cut on the things that you don't need. And I think the very first thing is to understand how much your monthly expenditure looks like, and then your income, and then feel like, are you over leveraging this and not doing better at this? And then you can decide for yourself. And living below you means different things to different people. Some people, I do have a good friend of mine who has chosen not to buy a vehicle and uses a bus and goes to work in a bus, comes back in the bus. And she finds that very doable for her. I would never be able to do that because I'm all over. I have children. I have to move here. I have to go there. I've always depended on a vehicle to take me for my flexibility and for my, I just need to get up and go, and I need to get up and go. I cannot wait for the bus to come at 2:00 or to go to the bus station. For me, I feel like that's valuable time that's not very well spent. But also there are people who ride the bus that feel like that's the best way to do. Just the same argument can go to people who rent versus people who buy homes. And I do go both ways. I think renting is an excellent thing to do, just as much as I think buying a house is an excellent thing to do. Depending on where you were in your life and what you're trying to accomplish, they're all good options. I would never knock one instead over the other. They're all good options. I've seen people who've rented for many, many years and they've done well financially. They can up and go. Once the lease is up, they're like, you know what? The lease is up in December. We can start traveling the whole of January, and then we can come back and find an apartment. When you have a home, you still can do that, but you're still under obligation to pay your mortgage and to pay your property tax and to pay your utilities and to do all of that thing. But also with that, it comes the comfort of home, in a sense, or the belonging, or the permanentness of a place. I do like that. So that's why we bought. Exactly. That's a very nice age to rent, because you just go and get yourself a nice high rise with no too much to do, or a nice little place, and then you just, I think that's really good. That's fancy. And I worked with seniors who are in the downsizing part of their lives. But also my neighbor downsized and came to our neighborhood. And in my opinion, I feel like our house is too big and there are only two people, husband and wife, but they live in a 3-bedroom house, and it's, I would say, probably a 2,000 square feet house. And they're saying they downsized. In my opinion, when I'm thinking of downsizing, it has to be, yeah, with a pool, exactly. And you don't have to maintain the pool, you don't have to maintain the gym, you don't have to maintain the lawn. That is the way to go. That is a way to go. In a good neighborhood, in a place where it doesn't snow as much. That's my dream. And some people have also taken off and gone to countries that are way cheaper. I know a lot of people on YouTube. There's a group of retirees that have gone to Panama City, and just watching those videos, I'm like, this will be me all day. This will be me all day. You don't have to buy a car because you're not working. You're just going there to leisure around. You can work online if you want to, or you can take a contract job that you can do for just maybe 2-3 months and then let it be, and then you just enjoy life. That would be me all day long. And then you rent a good place that it's safe. There's a pool. Then you have a bunch of friends that you hang out for coffee every Friday and then hang out for lunch every Wednesday, and you just enjoy your golden years for a fraction of the price that you would in the Western world. So definitely. Yeah, so that would be another way of even living below your means in retirement, where you decide to move to a different place that has low cost of living, and then now you're not spending as much of your money, or your money is stretching way further than it would have been in the Western country. Can you help me with African travel tips? Where exactly are you trying to go? Anywhere in Africa? People are very friendly, but make sure you're consulting with a good travel. Nairobi. Woo, Nairobi is fantastic. You'll love it. You'll love it. I was thinking in Jamaica. Yeah, Jamaica is also a good friend. It's a good place to go. Nairobi is wonderful. That is my home nation. That is my home. It's not my home city, but I lived in Nairobi for the longest time. It's busy. People are friendly. People are nice. People are very welcoming. Try and do some safaris if you can. But even just the vibe, the Nairobi vibe is everything. It's good. There are different travel agencies that can get you there, depending on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to do safari, Nairobi is a what do you call cosmopolitan, metropolitan city where everybody is from all parts of Kenya. It's a capital city. There is Mombasa, which is the coastal region, where if you want to go be at the beach, that's the place you would like to go. Never been to the falls in Lake Victoria. No, I've been to Lake Victoria. I don't know if there's a falls. There's Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe, so I don't know if that's what you're talking about. I know there's a Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe, but I don't know if there's a falls in Lake Victoria. I've been to Lake Victoria. I've taken the boat and gone around. I'm familiar with that area, but I've never been to the falls. Yeah, so there are different places you can go. You can go do your safari in Masai Mara or Rosova. I enjoy peding the bike, and you love it. Nairobi is quite busy, but there are outskirts where you can do that. Yeah, there are outskirts where you can do that, but the city itself is very, yeah, Victoria. That is breathtaking. That's one of the 7 wonders of Africa. It's breathtaking. Just I've never been, but I've been to Johannesburg via Zimbabwe, but I've never been to the falls itself. But just looking at the pictures and how they describe it, I think it's a really wonderful place. Yeah, you will find places to pedal. There's a city in coastal of Kenya called Lamu or Malindi. They're very beach vibe, slow moving areas, but they are very nice. The people are wonderful. They're welcoming. Kenya is an English speaking country, so you won't have trouble communicating if you're not if you speak English. The food is amazing. You got to try nyama choma. You got to try kachumbari. You got to try ugali. That's our staple food. Everybody eats ugali. in Kenya, they would just pair it with something different. It's similar to fufu if you're from Nigeria, or sata if you're from Zimbabwe or Zambia. It's just cornmeal, but it doesn't have a taste to it, but we like it. So make sure you enjoy the food. Any crocodiles? Yep. If you want to try crocodile meat, go to the Carnival Hotel. It's in Nairobi. They do all this game meat kind of presentation where they bring different meat types of meats: ostrich meat, antelope meat, crocodile meat, different kinds, pork and beef and whatnot, and you can try a piece of it. It's really fancy. It's kind of like, I don't know if you're from America, either Pampa Brazilian grill, or I forget the other one where you eat a lot of meat and then you have to turn this little piece and saying no more meat. It's just the same concept, but they use game meat, and it's delicious. They would let you know what it is before you eat it, so you're not conflicting your beliefs, but it's definitely worth a try. I was supposed to go in that area back in 1986 for student work exchange, but never happened. Maybe I could plan to go and visit. 100%. Yeah. The beauty about doing the student exchange, because you get like a local family, like you get a host family that's going to take you in and really expose you to the true authentic Kenyan culture. When you visit, sometimes it's very fine in between, like it's just like over there because you're tourist, but still you can gain the experience. You can still enjoy it. People are so friendly. People are willing to help. They're eager to help. Whatever you need, just pair yourself with a good maybe tour guide. And I'm sorry, I don't know any. I cannot recommend any guides because I never go to Kenya for. Hey Jackson, nice to see you again. I never go to Kenya for vacation, so it's very hard for me to kind of think of somebody, a tour group, but I've seen amazing videos and amazing things on YouTube where they have a tour guide that takes you from place to place with authentic Kenyan experience, like different cultures. You go and jump with the Maasais, and then you go to Mombasa, and then you come to Nairobi. Nairobi is busy. How are you doing? I'm good. Thank you. Yeah, but there's so much to do. There's an not ostrich, but there's giraffe center where you can go feed some giraffes, which is good. I'm a farmer. It would be nice to see how under folks live with agriculture. Yes, you'll love it. We have big farms of coffee and tea because we are tea farmers. Like we export a lot of teas, I think, and flowers. And I think 2 or 3 years ago, Kenya was number 2 or number 3 exporters of flowers, rose flowers in the world. Yeah, so there's definitely agriculture, mostly in the Rift Valley areas because of just the climate. There's so many farms. This Kericho makes tea, and we export teas everywhere. Yeah, exactly. There's so many. For flowers, I feel like it's mostly commercialized. So there's you wouldn't just walk and see like farms and places of flowers. It's very controlled, in my opinion. But for the other crops like coffee and tea, anytime you hit the highway going to Eldoret or going to the Kakamega, that side, that's the Western Kenya, they're all over the sides of the road, and people can give you tours, and you can enjoy. They're very welcome, and they will love to share anything they know about agriculture with somebody who has the same knowledge, because you will know the kind of questions to ask. So I'm rooting for you. Try, give it a shot. Give it a shot. Especially now that you have the advantage of time. Take a trip down there. It's a long ways from home, but you'll enjoy it. It'll be fun. Kenya is my home, and every time I go home, I'm smiling, even though I know I have to persevere and endure a 24-hour flying time because of the connections and stuff, but I'm smiling. That will be perfect. You'll see everything. And you can even jump ship and go to Zanzibar. They have amazing beaches. Really, it's like the Maldives of East Africa. So very relaxing, very cool. And their people are even way more chilled out than Kenyans. Out of the 3 East African countries, we have Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. we are the loudest. We are the ones that everybody's like, don't be a Kenyan, don't be a Kenyan because you talk too much. But Ugandans are more mellow, and then Tanzanians are just like, they usually used to make fun of them that when a police officer would come to arrest you, instead of just, the way in America, they just pin you down and put cuffs. No, the police officer comes here and say, please, sir, can I put handcuffs on you? That's how polite they are. That's how polite their system is. Okay. Oh yeah, absolutely. For as long as it's a plan and you have enough time to do that. Yeah, Tanzania is very mellow. And if you're going for 45 days, just try and make it fun, or make it, see as much as you can. Like if you take a flight, I'm in Edmonton, and my flight takes me, if I take KLM, it'll take me to Amsterdam. If I take Air France, we'll go to Paris or London. And sometimes you can have like an 11-hour layover in London, or a day. Instead of staying in the airport, you can get out and go see some stuff in Amsterdam. You can go see some stuff in London. You can go to the Eiffel Tower in Paris, just within your travel. Oh, you're in Northern Ontario. Yeah. So you can incorporate just not flying to Kenya just by itself. You can just have a few layovers, even 2-day layover in Amsterdam, and then you book a hotel in downtown and just go do some stuff in Amsterdam and get to see what Amsterdam has to offer, and then you come back and proceed to your final destination. But then again, if you don't want to do that, they also have shorter layovers. Like I know KLM usually have like maybe 2 or 3 hours at the airport, and it's just enough time for you to get down, have something to eat, and go find your next boarding gate, because it's like the other side of the terminal. So it's a good experience. It's a good experience. It's a good experience. Northern Ontario. I'm in Edmonton, Alberta. So we are not, it must be cold for you as well, I'm thinking. Yeah. So yeah, make it a bucket list, something to check off your list. Yeah. I am planning on more South American tours. We use Kenya shillings. And right now it is $1 is 92, 93 Kenya shillings. And for you to get 92, 93, for $2, you get a loaf of bread. Yeah, that's 150 shillings. Yeah, you get a loaf of bread. So it's reasonable. Times have been tough in Kenya just as much as they've been tough everywhere else in the world. So there's a lot of stuff over there. I was in Cold Lake, Alberta in the 90s. Oh, okay, 1990. Yeah, nice. Cold Lake has grown. It's a big, big, big town right now. It's a really big town. If you were there in 1990, that means it was maybe a small community with maybe some neighboring indigenous communities around. But right now it's huge and beautiful. Very, very nice town. There's a lot of people that I work with that are from there. And with it, was it the army base? There's like a military base somewhere close by that has attracted, I guess, a lot of people around that area. So it's a good place. And the roads are good too. They're all good. Only until the snow comes down in the winter, and then you're like, you don't want to be in that in that part of Alberta. Oh, you're in the military? Okay. Yeah, they do have their aircrafts there and their things over there. Nice. They have air shows, and I need to see if the tickets are on sale right now, because I was planning on going for, I think it's in August or in July, they do have air shows. Oh, Switzerland. That's one of the most beautiful countries. That's on my bucket list, Gianni. Switzerland. I just see the Swiss Alps, and in my mind, I think that's how the entire Switzerland looks like. And I'm like, I need to travel. I need to go there and see how it really is. Beautiful country you got. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much. Yeah, sounds good. Thank you very much for hanging out. You have that. Mahalo, aloha. Yeah. All right. We're right at 40 minutes. Anybody? Any? Yeah. Initially, we started talking about travel and stuff, but I was talking about the money mistakes that people make, especially as immigrants when we come to a new country and we feel like we have to somewhat perform or get into the culture or do the things that you have to do. So I was just sharing a few of the things that you don't do. Make sure you start investing and knowledge about how money works. The Bible says, "My people will perish due to the lack of knowledge." If you don't have knowledge, you have what do you work with? When you don't have knowledge, you're in a state of ignorance, and then that will put you in a really, really bad state. You have to understand how money works in different countries. You have to understand what the priority is as far as building wealth, as far as just the economy is, like the city, especially down to the city that you're planning to go to. How is it? How is the housing market in that city? How are the schools in that city? How costly will it be for me to move from one place to another? Whether you'll need a vehicle or whether you'll need the bus. Is there a train system or a metro system? So things, just break it down to the smallest, minutest detail so that you can give yourself a chance to actually pick something that will work for you and your family. I know Edmonton is a big city. You will need a vehicle to move around. But I also know people in smaller cities that say you need a vehicle to move around because they don't have as many buses or transportation system or even Uber to shuttle them around. So they even though it's a smaller town, they will need a vehicle because in the wintertime, you cannot always walk in minus 30, minus 20-degree weather. So break it down to the smallest detail and see how it works for you and plan accordingly. If you have family, how much will it cost for me to rent a house for my family in this city versus this city? And then you just compare the two and then you go from there. And then the pressure to want to belong or to want to be like Jane, but Jane has been here for 10, 15 years and you're really under pressure to be like her because you were in school together and now she came here and she's made it and you have to make it and you forget to respect time. You have to respect growth. You have to allow growth to happen. She didn't just show up and then things worked out for her just like that. I'm sure in those 15 years, she had been working on things gradually up until she's where she is right now. You just came in. You just arrived. Allow yourself the grace. Allow yourself the time to learn the hoops, to really know the lay of the land. You can use your Jane as the compass to navigate things, but don't be in a hurry to be. Take your time. Take your time. It's just like the way they say if you went and planted a mango seed, and then tomorrow they're like big and juicy mangoes already grown. You'd question that. I doubt you'll eat that mango because you know, how can I plant something today and then eat it tomorrow? That's just not, that's not the law of growth. The law says you have to give it time, you have to plow, you have to fertilize it, you have to prune, you have to do all these things, and all those things take time. So you give yourself time, allow time to life around here to prune you, life around here to mature you, and then you can get to that level where your friends are or where you're wanting to get to. And then the other one I discussed as well, which is very good, but we don't talk about it, is tracking your spending. And they say money leaks quietly. They're very small things that you look at it and it's like, it's nothing. But that's nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing. It's going to be a very big deal at the end of it all. And I'm telling you, sometimes being a Christian is by the grace of God that sometimes these things are revealed to you. Because there's a lot of money that will pass through your hands, but you don't have the things to show for it. There was a lady on YouTube I was watching who said she made during the COVID era, like when nurses were making so much money, volunteering here, taking overtimes and stuff, she made close to $1 million. And after all that was said and done, and COVID came and went in 2023, she had no money. She was actually in debt, like six figures in debt. I think it was $250,000 in debt. Yet 2 years prior to that, she had made over $1 million or close to $1 million at her job. So it's just money has a fleeting way of just, if you don't talk to it and tell you money, I need you to go pay this bill. I need you to go here. I need you to go tithe. I need you to go offering. And if you don't do those kinds of things, it will quietly leak out and you'll turn around and you'll have nothing to show for it. That's the same way we say we have been in the diaspora for over 15 years, over 20 years, over 25 years, even close to 40 years, but you're still living the same exact life you lived when you started, or maybe 10 years after. Yet you have raised children, they have grown and left the home, and then you're still feeling the pressure of, I need more money, I need more money, I need more money. I'm not ready for retirement. I'm not ready for this. So it's very important for you to track your spending, and also to be a good steward of the resources God gives you. That's the prayer that I have for myself and I have for everybody here that's in an immigrant and trying to make things work, because these finances are no joke. They come easy and they go even easier. Not necessarily easy, but at least you reap the fruits. You can get, if you work a job that can give you overtime, you can do that. If you can have two jobs, you can have a job in a business, and you can see a lot of money coming in, but sometimes it's going to be very hard for you to account for that money. What came in was way more than no, what went out was way more than what came in, because there's consumerism everywhere you turn around. They're trying to sell you this, they're trying to take you here, they're trying to do this. If you're not careful, you fall into that trap, and then you realize the $50 that I had is all gone. The $200 that I'd saved up for this, it's all gone. So you have to be intentional about your finances. You have to make commitments to do better with your finances and to learn, because my people will perish due to lack of knowledge. If you don't have the knowledge, if you don't seek the knowledge, if you don't seek to understand how money works, you will struggle. You will struggle. Yeah, so it's important, especially for us new immigrants, whether you're planning to come in or you're already here and you're trying to do good with the time that you have. Those are some of the things that you really have to prioritize. Oh, my education journey. I am a nurse by profession. So I got my degree, my bachelor's degree, and then I wrote my NCLEX and became a nurse many, 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 many years ago. Are you trying to come in as a student? Are you a student or? Yeah. Yep. But that's many, many years ago. And I know it's different. It's not, especially for nurses, it's not as different now, I don't believe. I'm pursuing my bachelor's in arts. Very good. Yeah, go for it. In arts. Here, are you in America? Are you in Canada, or are you in a different continent? I'm from India. Okay. Yeah. Stay in school. Like they say, stay in school. Yeah, I did that. I did my bachelor's in science, and then it's bachelor's of science in nursing. And then you write the nursing exam. And then I started my MBA. I am 50% done with my MBA, but that's just for shits and giggles. It's not like maybe eventually I'll use it, but I went back for that just because I wanted to do some understanding of leadership and that stuff. Whether or not I'll use it, I don't know. But it's not even something that I talk about, but I do that. Yeah. But bachelor's of arts, that's good. Keep up, keep up. How far along are you with your degree? Did you just get started, or are you Almost done. Almost done. Almost done. Just started. Oh well, I'm new. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, just stay. Just the ups and downs in everything. So just stay with it. Just stay with it. Since you've started, might as well finish, right? But I know some people are like, no, you don't have to go to university. You don't have to finish. Oh well, to each their own. That it's. I feel like it will serve you well. If nothing else, at least you'll have the discipline of starting and finishing an assignment, or taking directions from somebody else, like a professor, or just trying to accomplish the whatever it takes to graduate. You know, that pressure of I have to do this class, I have to take this class, and keeping tab of your units and keeping tab of your how many you have left, how many you have to go. I think just that mental rigor makes you different or matures you. At least it gives you that you become coachable or trainable or teachable. I think that's all university is for. It's just to make sure, or it's just to make you teachable. If you can just sit there and take all it and understand what it takes and follow through, there's something in you that softens, or there's something in you that matures, and now you know, okay, this is if I want this, this is what I'll need to do. If I need this, is what I need to do. So, and also for people, for friendships, university has you'll make lots of friends in university. People that will be your friend for long time. I still keep in touch with a couple of my nursing friends many years later. Yeah, so that's good. Anything else? Yeah. So I think we're coming down to almost an hour. And money, if you can get good with your money, you can get good with a lot of things. Really. I think money solves a lot of your problems. And if you can be able to get it and hold on to it, or get it and invest it, so that in your later days, you're not wondering where your money went, it can be a very powerful place to be. A very powerful place to be. You won't have to worry as much. Not that worrying will change anything, but just the human nature in us. When you feel like you don't have a safety net, you tend to worry. In India, we had to crack exams to get university. I did that last year and got a university. Awesome. Awesome. I know your education system is very rigorous. It's very tough. We do that too in Kenya. We do have like we call it, um, what do we call it now? Back in the day, we used to call Kenya examinations of KCSE, Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education, which was the last exam you did when in grade 12. And then that, depending on how well you perform, then you got an admission to a university or a polytechnic or a college. And if you didn't do very well, then you would have either to go to a regular small school, or you would have to do it over again, like to repeat the whole 12th grade. But nowadays is a bit different. Yeah, I think most countries, especially like India, Philippines, Africa, we do have the final exam for grade. Even in diplomas, like in Canada and in America, they do have high school diplomas. And then you choose what you want to do in university, and then you apply to that program. If you get in, good. If you don't, then you have to adjust some things to make sure you get into the program that you want. But now there's different channels of getting into different schools and getting into different programs. I find like it's not as rigorous as it used to be back in the day when I went to school. And back in Kenya at that time, we had very few universities. So very few, there was a small percentage of people that would make it to the university. The rest of us would have to figure out other ways, like go to a local college or a smaller or go start working or bridge or whatever. But nowadays there's options everywhere. I think everybody, I feel like majority of Gen Zs in Kenya are graduates. Majority. I want to bet like maybe a good 75% must have bachelor's degrees. Yeah, unfortunately, there are no jobs too much. So sometimes you do all of that and then you end up without a job, which is a very sad story for most of my Kenyan people. It's even harder to get into university here or to crack any exams because nowadays it's hard here because exams are getting, oh, and people had to drop years to quality again. I know. Ooh, I can imagine. I can imagine. And yeah, with ChatGPT, things are leaking out and think people are just, it gets tougher and tougher. But I always say where there's a will, there's a way. You just make it. So I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for accomplishing that and getting to the university. So with your bachelor's of arts, what do you want to do? No, not because of chat. My mouth is so dry. I'm just spitting. What are you gonna? What profession are you looking to go into with your degree, your arts degree? Exactly. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. It's corrupt. I find it's corrupt everywhere. Mm. People think systems don't work as they used to work back in the day. Oh wow. It will be hard to compete with that. If you don't have the money to buy, then it becomes very hard for you to compete because you could be sitting right next to somebody who has the entire exam. And then yeah, that'll be tough. That's really tough. It's greed. Unfortunately, that's becoming a big thing everywhere. Like there's just greed. Everybody wants a dollar for this and a dollar for that. And it doesn't matter what they, um, fantastic. Yeah, that's a good profession. Then you pass the knowledge that you have learned. Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm proud of you. I'm glad that you got in, and I'm glad that you're doing what you need to do, and you got your eyes, on your goal. Just keep at it. Yeah, it's good. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I'm glad at least I got to learn something today from you. Thank you very much, and I hope you did get to learn something also from me. So, for those who will be rewatching this, thank you very much. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comment section down below. And then I will catch you in the next one. I'm trying to do these lives a little bit more often, maybe 2 times a week, just to see if I can talk to people. Like I enjoy having conversation with people. Like I know there's somebody there typing and talking to me and seeing me. I like that type of conversation as opposed to the long form videos where you're recording and then you're just by yourself. But still, it works. Um, One of my friends is preparing for nursing exams. Best wishes to her. Yeah, it tends to be a bit stressful, but best luck to her. Best luck to her. Nursing is a good profession. I'm biased because I'm a nurse. So I do enjoy it and I've done it for a very long time in different settings. So I advocate for it a lot. So best wishes to him or her. Yeah. So it's coming up to the top of the hour here. I am been talking to you guys for a whole hour, which is amazing. And time goes really fast, which is good. So I hope to talk to you again sometime this week. Like I was saying, I'm trying to see if I can do like two lives every week. If you have any comments that you want me to talk about, just drop them on this video and I will come back and look around and see if I can share first week of June. Okay, that's good time. That's So April, May. Okay, so 2 months to study. 2 months to study. That's good. That's long enough. I feel that's long enough. She'll be able to do it. She'll. If I feel like if you've gone through the whole nursing school program itself, exam is usually, even though it's the most stressful part because that's what decides whether you're going to become a nurse or not, or you're just going to have somebody or just be somebody with a nursing degree. Even though the pressure is high, I feel like the education itself is way more aggressive, is way more stressful than the exam. So if she's gone through the program and now all she has to face is the exam, I think she's already eaten like 80% of the elephant. Now she only has 20 to go. Okay, explain. Okay. These exams are more harder to crack here. As an example, it's too hard to get. Oh, isn't that the national exam? Oh well, I don't know. Again, I left school long time ago, so maybe the dynamics of school nowadays are a bit different. Mhm. Who are wishing to be doctors, but only few get. Yeah, then people shift to. Oh, so they make it more okay. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that because you still want to be in the medical field, so you just go to paramedics or nursing. Yeah, I can see that. Exactly. Because now your people, yeah, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. So the pool has a lot of people, and maybe the people that were trying to be doctors have better GPAs and marks and biologies and better than you that you were just trying to aspire to be a nurse. Yeah, so the competition becomes very stiff. I can see that. I can see that. Mm. Yeah, but don't be discouraged or don't tell your friend to be discouraged. But she's good if she's already now just looking for to sit the exam, to write the exam. She's there. She's actually almost done. All right. Best of luck to her. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. And I see like it's already an hour past. I'm trying to make these lives only an hour. So I don't want to go too far. I don't want to extend it too far. So thank you so much. PX God is live. And now there was a twist. People take. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Because they're so used to the rigorous studying of a physician, of a doctor, of a medical student, coming to nurses will be so much easier, especially on the A&P, like anatomy and physiology. They have more experience. They have more experience in microbiology. They have more experience in the sciences than you, who is just trying to be a fresh nursing student. So I can see, that's what I'm saying. I can see the competition being stiff because now you're competing with people who have years and years and years of study. Mm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's difficult. Yeah. So you find like the nursing students are very sharp. And also they're doing that maybe just to stay there until they can continue to apply to medical school and see if they can get a chance. So instead of just being at home waiting, they decide to be nurses and then they're going to step from nursing to being a doctor. So that's a good path as well. But also the people that the regular nurses or the regular people who are just going there to be nurses, they will have to pull up their socks and compete with these people, which can be very, very difficult. Can be very difficult. But it can be done. It can be done. So I get it. I understand. All right, my friend. You have a wonderful day. Education is excellent here. The things that 100% need to face brain drain here. Yeah. Yeah. There's no hate for India. I'm just kidding. I understand. Yeah. Yeah. Education is great for sure. For sure. For sure. There's so many Indian doctors in Canada. Even in my place of work, there's so many of them, and lawyers and accountants and nurses, and yeah, there's lots of them. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right, then. I will let you go. Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. Mm, I mean, yeah, not that hate, but the hate is that who lives here is just living. Yeah, I think that's to be said about a lot of places. That's to be said about a lot of places. They're just here for their own satisfaction. Yeah, unfortunately or fortunately. Yeah. And I also think it depends. I've been to Mumbai a few times. It's different from Delhi. Like the vibes are different in different locations. So it just depends on where you go and what your experience is. So, and what you're looking for. It's a dense country. Like it's got a lot of people, and you're bound to meet good people and not so good people. You're bound to meet ups and downs, like any country. Like any country, there are people who came to America and they have good experiences, and there are people who say, "I will never be back in America because of this, that, and the other." So it's different. It's different. Hmm. Yeah. AIQ, like IQ, like mental IQ. It's 500 plus. What is AIQ? If you're talking about intelligence, there's no doubt. There is no doubt. Thank you for subscribing. It means very harmful air quality. Oh, air quality index. Got it. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just a dense country. There's just lots of people, lots of factories, lots of machines. There's a lot of that going on. Same in China, same in other places. Yeah, so I can see that. I'm trying to remember what Bombay. I went there way back when they used to call Mumbai Bombay, and then I came back after it was now Mumbai, and it was still a lot of people, and a lot of congestion. Yeah, and it's still very, and it's still there. It's still that way. Even sometimes when I come to places here in Canada and I see a lot of people from India, and I'm like, there are also a lot of them here, and there are also a lot of them here. So it's just a dense population, and so with dense population, that's what happens. You're bound to have those problems. Air quality is not the best because they have to do what they have to do to keep their machines running and to keep their. There's no good maybe sewer system. There's no good. It's hard to maintain things because there's just so much pressure from the population. I'd say it's heaven here. Where is my friend went to Chandigarh school, Chandigarh, and then Aurangabad. Aurangabad, does that sound familiar? Yeah, Chandigarh, and Aurangabad. So I've never been to those other sites though. Mini Switzerland. Oh wow, Dharamshala. It's famous all over. Okay, I'll Google that. I'll Google that. I'd rather go there than go to the big city like to Delhi and Mumbai. I'd rather go to a place, to a small place. Hmm. All right. Okay. I see my son is calling me now. Yes, in Punjab. Yeah. 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 It's very populated. Anyway, thank you so much for giving me a little tour of India there. Thank you. It was good talking to you. I will see you on the next one. I just have to jump out and go do something else. Otherwise, thank you so much for keeping me company. We'll see you next time. Thanks.